Hello, I'm Janna, and welcome back to the Crafty Corner. Today, we have got the brand new Tim Holtz Sizzix Classic die sets in the house, along with the two new A5 3D embossing folders. If you'd like to see exactly which supplies we're going to be using here today, go ahead and pause here. All right, let's head over to the Crafty Corner. Today, we're going to be creating and playing with the brand new Tim Holtz Sizzix Classic release. And I gotta say, this is a stack of goodness. So first things first, let's take a look at what we have. Here is the first die set. This one I'm very excited about. I never had this one in my collection, so I was very excited to see the re-release of this. This is Layered Jack-o'-lantern, and it is super cute. If you're looking how to make this, I can promise you there's going to be a reel on Monday as I give this die set a quick play. Gotta tell you, it's pretty cool. Then we've got this one. This one I was also missing from my collection, so I gotta say I'm so happy to see some of these coming back because I didn't really jump on the Tim Holtz bandwagon until around 2016, maybe 17. So I'm really excited because I definitely missed a few, or at the time I passed them over just because my budget wouldn't stretch that far. But I'm very excited. We've now got them in the collection. And this is Haunted House. I love Haunted House. The detail on this is so fun, and it reminds me of Ghost Town. I definitely think it would fit in. I'm picturing maybe doing a whole scene with the buildings at some point, with this being the main focal point. But today I'm thinking this could be the main feature in an art journal segment. And I love the little bats. They're cute. And we've got a beautiful crescent moon. And it's even got a little jiggity-jaggedy going on. So, fun times. Next, we have got this one. This is Trick or Treat. And now, this one was re-released in the Vault series. There's another size, but I do like having the bigger one because it makes a great focal point. And I love the little trick or treat thing. And then we've got another adorable bat. So very excited. Again, another one that I completely missed. So just growing the collection as things come back. Okay, this is just fun. I love this. It's a little wonky. It's not quite perfect, but it is fun and it's got the right type of fall vibes. This is alphanumeric cutout lowercase, 3/4 of an inch tall. These are great. I love creating with them. They are fun, and I can't remember if the original die set had this as well, but I'm very excited because we don't just get one letter. We get many, many letters. We've got like 5 A's, 2 B's, 2 C's, 2 D's, 7 E's. That's very extravagant, and I love it because there's a lot of excellent words that have many E's in them. 6 I's. That's very impressive. And just I love that it's not just one of each. It's going to be so much easier to spell things. So, great addition to the collection. Now, we get into a couple of things that I actually already had, and I was very pleased because a lot of people didn't get a chance to get this die, so I'm really happy that more crafters will have this in their collection as well. This one is Leaf Fragments, and Leaf Fragments is fun. The second I saw it the first time around, of course I had to get it. It's a great fall die, and it's a great way to use up those scrappy pieces from other die cut projects. So definitely one I'll keep playing with, and a great reminder that it's in the stash, and this will definitely be making an appearance today. All right, this one, very excited. I also love that this is the original one. This is Witchcraft, and as you can tell, there's a difference between then and now. The original set has the darker background and the newer sets have the white background, but I like having the old one because it just reminds me that this was a point in time when that was the style. So I love that we still have it. And this is a fun one. I love the witch. She's really fun to dress up and transform. And she's got her really cool witchy familiar cat with her. And then we've got a whole bunch of stars. You can use the negative or the positive, just depending on how you're creating. Now, I wanted to take a second because I already did an Instagram post featuring her. So we're not going to play too much with this one today, but I thought we could take a look at this and dissect it just a bit. So I die cut the witch, and initially she was die cut using some mixed media cardstock, then layered on top with some of that beautiful fall sparkling plaid. I love that. That was from last year's Ideology release. and I colored in parts of her. Like I gave her some colored hair, colored in her hat, her face and hands, and shoes and socks. And of course the broomstick. So with the layers, we were able to create a very witchy witch. And of course, we've got our little familiar. She's riding on the back. And I just stacked this on some cardstock. We've got an ideology background, an ideology layer, and then we've got, well, we're going to come to that in just a second, finished with a label sticker. So as you can tell, there are tons of things to do with this, and lots and lots of fun to be had. Okay, now let's get into this part right here, because that comes from the new size of 3D texture fade. This is foliage, and this is the large A5 version. So I did an altered panel. This was originally some craft stock. We've got some spritz, we've got some distress spray, and some distress crayon to give this texture. So as you can see, it makes a great background. Now let's take a look at the texture itself without any alteration. I did another pass just so we could take a look. This was done with some metallic craft stock. And as you can see, the detail's absolutely wonderful. I love that. And there is the smaller version, and that would have a slightly smaller scale of leaf. Now, depending on what you're making, having the scale size difference can be absolutely wonderful. And I think having all of the options at our fingertips is a good thing. And other thing, check out the size of the folio. This would actually make an entire journal cover. And I really want to do a video where we do some altered journaling. Like I want to make a journal start to finish and cover it with one of the new 3D textures. But great folder, great results, and it's just really fun to touch. It's got a really nice texture. I can't get enough of this. And the last thing that we have in that particular release, we've got this really cool folder, and this one is cracked large. And we ran this through with some black cardstock. This is some of that beautiful distress cardstock. It's kind of like suede. It's got a really good feel. And we're going to do a quick little alteration with this. Now, the question is, which side do I want to use? That is always the question. I think we're going to use this side because it's a little bit more raised. Because honestly, either side is going to work. This is the side that's intended to show, but really the back side is just as good. So let's just do a quick little alteration before we dive into the journaling. I'm pulling in one of the Distress Crayon Pearlescents, and this is Iron Gate. So I'm just going to take this and we're going to lightly run it over our cardstock surface. This is the black heavy stock. And you can already tell that wonderful crackle texture is appearing. It's like magic. I love it. All right. Kind of going like for a tree bark look. And then we're just going to smudge that. Just very lightly, just with the fingers. And right there, very quick and easy. We've now got a wonderful background to play on with a definitely kind of creepy, kind of Halloweenish vibe, which is what I'm going for. I don't know about anyone else, but the last week or so has been horrendous with the heat wave. It's been absolutely way too hot, hard to focus on crafting, even with the AC cranked. But the heat wave is starting to break, and we're in for thunderstorms tonight, so I am looking forward to it. Okay, so there we go. Easy way to alter a panel when run through an embossing folder. Just a little bit of Distress Crayon, and bam! Look at that. It's so, so pretty. All right, now let's get into the journaling portion of this video. We've taken a look at the dies. Now let's use them. So for journaling, we're going to be using our Stamperia Mixed Media Art Journal. I love the size. It's really convenient, good size for on camera. So we're going to start here, zooming things out just a bit so we can see what we're doing. A little bit more. Okay. Now, first things first, I am thinking I want to do a outdoor scene. The manor's going to be the main attraction, but I kind of want to do a very quick sketch just to show you kind of what I'm thinking. So, the manor's going to be on a hill. The hill's going to kind of taper off. There we go. So the manor's here-ish. We'll put the trick-or-treaters around here, and then we're going to do a whole night sky. And for our background, I decided to go with some distress paint. Let's start with the skyline first. I'm going to put down some chipped sapphire and a dash of black soot, just so we can blend our skyline out. And I think we're just going to treat it just as paint with a teeny tiny bit of water at the very end. Mostly I'm just trying to get a quick background. Alright, so we'll grab a paintbrush and just start moving this around. So there's our hill line, just trying to keep that intact. There we go, bringing that down, that looks good. Okay. So it looks like I do need a little bit of water to get the paint moving. It's being just a hair stubborn. All right, so just roughly blocking stuff in. Now this is what I love about art journaling. It doesn't have to be neat. You can just kind of go with the flow and see where things take you. And I'm definitely a bit of a messy crafter when it comes to art journaling. I just want to build my scene and to heck with the background, but the background is always the most interesting part, so I have to remind myself to take some time and give the background a little bit of love. Okay, there we go. So far so good. Now it's time to bring in some of that black soot. There, so we're just going to spread that down as quick as we can. It's looking good. And I think I'll even add a little bit of spritz. A little bit of spritz will give us some sparkle in the sky. There we go. And then we can work on the hillside. Now, I love distress paint for this. Distress paint and distress spray stains are a really good way to jumpstart a background. Okay, so our background's looking really, really good. The paint is still wet, so I am going to see if I can't get a little bit of a distressed look by drip dropping a little bit of water on here. I don't know if it's going to do much, but let's find out. There we go. Okay, I'm hoping to get just a little bit of water splattering. I do love that look. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start drying this off, and we'll be back in just a moment to work on the hillside and add a little bit of spritz to the background. Okay, that's dry. Now I want to go in with a little bit of spritz. So we're going to be using a dash of hickory smoke. Go ahead, give it a really good shake. And see what we get. Oh, that's a bit more than I wanted in. Trying to do like little half squeezes, but it's not cooperating. Okay, it's just going to be very spritzed. All right, now let's take a look at the hillside. For the hillside, I want to add some rustic wilderness, and then we're going to add a dash of forest moss over the top. So let's go ahead and brush that right on. I love rustic wilderness. It's a beautiful green. It's exactly what its name says. It's rustic and it reminds you of the wilderness. Definitely my favorite green in the distress line. Okay, so a little bit of water to get things moving. I don't know what it is, but the water really does make it flow better. And let's take that and carefully work down the hill. Good. Looks really good. Okay, almost there, just covering up a couple of little spots, and we will be good. It's such a lovely color. Okay, I think we're pretty good there. Now, let's see. I'm going to add a few droplets of water and see how that goes. Okay, we'll be back in just a moment. Now let's go ahead and add a little bit of forest moss. Just off to the side, I'm putting down a few drops, and we're going to try to dry brush these onto the page. So just a little bit, and it's not going to dry brush, that's okay. I'm just going to add a little bit here and there, just trying to add a little bit of texture. So I'm just kind of flicking and trying to get some uneven marks. There we go. Not too bad. And we're just going to keep going. Almost there. So, pretty good. Okay. I think we are good. So the next thing will be to let this dry, and then we can start building the scene. Okay, so first things first, I want to put that beautiful manor down. Now the thing about the manor is we've got a few little spots that we're going to want to have illuminated. So I'm going to roughly trace part of the manor so that I can add some golden distress paint behind it so we can have those windows lit up. Okay, so I've got that kind of traced out. Now I want the gold paint. This is tarnished brass. I'm going to add that in. So just pretty carefully dabbing this on, trying to make sure that we're going to hit all those points. So hoping that this works. Okay, I think we're pretty good. Hope that's going to work. If I go over just a little bit, I should be able to disguise that with a little paint after. But I really want that gold to show. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to grab that manor. Oh, it looks like I might have gone over in a couple of spots. Oh, I went under in a spot too. Let's see here. Ooh. I think it's going to be pretty good. Okay. So I did go over in just an area or two, but we'll use a little bit of paint. Next, let's go in with a dash of collage medium. So I'm going to have to put this down. Okay. And we'll just stick that right here. And we'll just put some at the top. I want to make sure that this is staying in place. Great. And I have a little bit of touch-up after, but not a big deal. Nice. All right, next I want to take the trick-or-treaters. I think they're going to be going right here. But you know what? I also want to add in the leaves. So let's see here. Just kind of, this is not to scale in the lace. This is just really out of proportion, but that's okay. I just wanted to have some leaves blowing about. There we go. It's pretty. And I've got one more leaf over here. But you know what? I don't need that one. Let's go with this. Yeah, I like that. So, I guess we're going to just collage the whole area. Just be very generous with the glue and go over the top with more. That will be fine. I just want to make sure everything's going to stick down nicely to the pages. So just smooshing the glue out. Now you definitely could do this with a paintbrush or a sponge, but I always prefer to get right into it. And I'll definitely need to do a little bit of trimming after. I've got a few bits and pieces that are going to be overhang. That's okay. So just smushing these around. Trying to get that just looking kind of randomish. And second little layer over the top. Let's move that one. There we go. That looks nice. Okay. Very, very good. Now I also have some little leaves from one of the very old strip dies, and I thought that'd be fun just to add a few of these in. Just, it's like the wind is going to be blowing leaves everywhere. I just thought that'd be fun. So just add a few leaves here and there, and we will see where we end up. There we go. Oh, I love leaves. I've definitely had a few days where I just kind of sat down and die cut leaves because I could. Definitely a relaxing thing to do and a great way to use up those scraps. And believe me, I end up with a lot of scraps. Just little bits and pieces from projects that only took a little bit, and then you end up with all sorts of little fragments. But it's a good way to use it up. My scrap bin is overflowing, so I'm always excited when I've got a little project that will let me get a few dozen pieces of paper sliced and diced. Okay, I like this, so let's go ahead and grab the trick-or-treaters and add them in. Okay, that looks great. Not bad at all. I think I want a few more leaves swirling around over here. Oh, I've also got a random acorn. That's fun. Kind of making like a little whirlwind of leaves just tumbling about. I do love the leaves. And just a little bit more glue to make sure that they're really stuck. Oops, that one's running away. Let's bring that back. Good, and I've got room for another right here. Perfect. So now I'm just kind of smoothing everything down, making sure I don't have too much glue ooze in places, and then we can think about adding a sentiment. So just smoothing things down. Great. Now I decided that I wanted to do two sentiments on here. One, I've got a really fun sentiment from the Trick or Treater die set, and two, I wanted to use the paper cut letters. In the Trick or Treater die set, I die cut this on some deco glitter paper, but I layered it up with a layer of craft stock to give it a bit more stability. So we're going to take that and put that right in front of the house. I'm just going to stick that right here. Perfect. I'm just going to try to hold that. I don't want to get any glue ooze on this because of that beautiful sparkle. Great. And we'll just have to let that dry. Once the glue's a little bit more dry, I am going to go back around the manor and kind of do a touch-up on the areas where the gold comes out from behind the house, and we'll add some blue. Alright, but in the meantime, let's get our second sentiment on the board. These are already double-sided adhesive. That double-sided sticky tape is super, super useful. So we've got Happy Fall, because why not? We can have two sentiments. So I'm just going to peel that double-sided tape and place these. Let's see, I think I want them kind of up high. Yeah, about here. That'll be good. I do love die cutting and like having everything pre-adhesive because it just makes it so much easier when assembling things. Like when you get in the flow, it can be a pain in the neck to have to glue down 100 teeny tiny pieces. Having these pre-made as stickers is really useful. But if you don't have the double-sided sticky tape, I have heard from Tim that the Xyron is absolutely wonderful for making little die cut pieces into stickers as well. There we go. So it all depends on how you want to craft. Both ways work pretty well. Oh, let's be a little stubborn. Come on. There we go. I'm still a little bit sticky from the glue, so it's giving me a hard time coming off the paper. Good. Three more letters and that sentiment will be done. Now, I love art journaling. It is a good way to get a feel for a new die set. There aren't really any rules, just take the die sets and make a scene. I love doing that because sometimes you can have a whole bunch of things that don't really seem to go together, but I love the challenge of trying to make things fit to create a cohesive scene with them. All right, I am also going to save this part because the negative in this case is going to be very useful. So hopefully I can use that on another art journaling page. Okay, and I'll take that last L, and that goes right here. So the last thing that I really need to do is add a bit of paint around the house so we can get rid of that little extra golden splotch. So just a tiny bit of chipped sapphire. We'll get the paintbrush and we can just carefully cover that little area up. There we go. Like it wasn't even there. Perfect. That didn't take much at all. Nice. All right, let's give this a moment and let it dry. I forgot something. We also have some bats, moons, and stars to add in. So let's get a little bit more collage medium out and add those elements because those will make the sky that much more magical. So I'm just adding a teeny tiny bit of glue to the moon. Then we can stick that right down. Okay. Let's see here. I guess the moon can be a little bit low in the sky. That works. And let's add in some bats. It's still pretty sticky here, so I think the bats are going to stick without much help. Fun. And now I've also got some stars to add. I cut a whole bunch of these out of some gold craft stock, and we might as well add them in. So just taking a few of these and placing them here and there. I love that little bit of extra metallic. Makes things look all that much more magical. So the stars came from Witchcraft, and you can use the positives or the negatives depending on how you want to make your scene look. There we go. Those are most of the big ones. Now let's get some of the little ones in. I love how there's like 5 different sizes of stars. Having different sizes can make things that much more interesting when building. All right, let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go for 12. 8. This will be 9. 12 should be a good number. 10. 11. 12. You know what? I want 15. I need more stars. The stars are fun. There we go. And let's add one more. That'll give us 15, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yep, this will be 15. 15 is a good number. Okay, now we can finish letting this dry.